There we go. It's James Maduch speaking. We're doing another Training Sites live stream. I want to welcome you. This one's an ad hoc one, totally unscripted. And what I want to do today is basically, I want to go through the campus map that is available on trainingsites.io. There's 10 unique steps there about starting, building, and growing your education business, and specifically my whole idea of a campus and where that fits in. And there's 3 different business models of types of education business when it comes to online education. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to introduce those 3 so that you know what they are and where they fit. I'm also going to, for each of them, give you some kind of the purpose of them, the key features that you'll find in them, the way that they deliver value, and more importantly, the big picture on how they fit in. Now, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do that. If you haven't gone to trainingsites.io and joined the community, the campus, the membership site, the training site we've got that we're starting to build out again there. Please do that. It's free to join to get started, where you can ask questions, get involved in this whole thing, and actually take the Campus Map course that goes over all of the 10 steps. So where does this all fit into the map and kind of why would you want to know about these 3 different business models? So I'm going to open up some different pieces that we go through here. And again, all of the links and any of the materials that I talk about are available in trainingsites.io. I'll put the links below here so that you can actually go get them. And that includes things like PDF copies of the mind maps, links to them, and perhaps any other additional resources that I put in. I hope this will go about maybe 20 minutes. I'm going to go as quickly as I can in the condensed form. And after the fact, any of these live streams that I do a key takeaway and summaries, plus the transcriptions available on trainingsites.io. And this one is dear to my heart because it really fits into this whole notion of having a good understanding of your business model. And that part of it, I'm going to open up my, my campus map here so that you see it. This whole piece, and I'll open this up so that you can see it. This whole piece is really about, let me get myself out of the way there. This whole piece is about, number 1, the first step, and its ideas about covering or taking a real solid look at what your training business is all about and the ideas or the big ideas that you have about it at the start. So this whole piece here about ideas, discovering your perfect topic, if you don't have this foundation done and you're trying to build an education business, I'm not talking about selling a course or something along those lines. I'm talking about building a real business, something that you can feel good about personally, but more importantly, know that you're actually helping people or guiding people with your experience and your skill set and teaching them how to do something the same. And this whole kind of piece here about, picking your main topic, the categories, when does it happen? What are the challenges? Who has the problem? Being able to answer those questions are very, very important. Having that kind of map or that hub and spoke model of the different pieces in terms of the big topic, the categories, and 25 different challenges in each of those categories is there. But here's the one that, we're really focusing on today is like, how is the best way to help? How are you able, with your experience, to actually help people get those things in their life and get those things in their work and get those things that you're sharing, whether it be a passion on something that's personal or more importantly, some kind of business idea that you're sharing. So that number 1 of the 10, if you don't have these ones, it's been my experience that any of the things that you happen after are not going to necessarily what you're going to be doing in the long term. And the 3 business models that I'm going to talk about right now are actually dependent on this number 1 idea, on what it is that you're trying to share or get across. So we're going to go over that. I'm going to pull in some slides here. We'll do a little bit of the different pieces here so that you see it and make it a little bit bigger. And let me just see if we can make it so that we can see it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so here we are. The business model. There's 3 different business models, and I'm going to put them in a little bit different order. Sorry about that. We'll do membership site, community site, and campus. And my personal belief is that in terms of business models, 2025, 2026, education business, you're going to be wanting, if you want an education business, you're going to be wanting a campus, not a membership site, and not a community. And we're going to go why in each of those particular pieces. So what are the key features of a membership site? How does it work? What are the things that are important? If you take a look at, if we go through this map here and we take a look at the purpose of them, and again, this is just my notes. I'll make them all available to you. When you have a membership site, it used to be the holy grail when I first started marketing, because it was all about recurring revenue, and it was really focused on what is the content that I have and services that I have, and how can I structure and organize it. So it wasn't necessarily about a transformation or teaching anything. It was just a way to keep valuable content separate from kind of the free stuff that you were doing. So you had control over it. And the big thing that was available in a membership site was that you could control the structure of what was available to people. So that membership site, I use the term membership site, it's really about, the purpose is about organizing the content. It's all about the content. So that's the purpose of it. What makes it kind of unique is terms of the features that are there. And a membership site has gated content. What that means is that the content that's there requires either a login and registration and/or some kind of payment or compensation for access to that gated content. And with content also is resources. And when I'm talking about resources, these may be other services and/or pieces that are only available to members and hidden. So one of the things I got today, just as an example, is I got a link from one of the companies that I beta test for, and they now have a VIP section that is only for some of the beta testers. It's not available for the regular members. It's available only for beta testers. And the reason is there's additional resources that are available over and above the content only for the people who are beta testers. They may be links, downloads, all sorts of stuff, but again, it's just content. When someone goes to a membership site, and if you're thinking about a membership site, one of the things you got to do is just understand it's about regularly updated content. You'll need some kind of schedule or way that you have. I just want to make sure that we're streaming okay here. You want to make sure that that you're doing something on a regular basis, because people are expecting new content all the time. That gets consumed behind the gated spot, and if it's consumed and there's nothing more, there's no reason to be a member anymore. So you want to make sure that you've got regularly scheduled content. And when you're going with that content, of course, it can be set for tiers or individual tiers, and you got to kind of think about how are you going to put that together or use it. So those are the features of a membership site. If you're just thinking about having an education business and you're looking and say, hey, I got some content, I want people to be able to get access to it only after they pay or give me an email address, then use the term membership site and just know what it is that you're building, and does it fit into the big idea? Is it going to provide a transformation people? Is it going to do all of the things that I've kind of decided on the go? So if we look at membership site, pretty straightforward. We got some features that are there that you'll see in a membership site. Where does the value get provided? The value is consistency. And as a membership site owner, you have a commitment to create consistent, valuable content that requires that gated community that you can do on a regular basis. And the biggest problem I've seen with a lot of people who have membership sites is they get burnt out because it's a struggle sometimes, depending on your topic and how frequently that actually updates, to create consistent, valuable content on a regular basis. The value is also in the structure. So you do provide structure to the content. If you have a topic that's very, very complex, your ability to organize it so that people can reference it when they need it, that's where the value is in a membership site. It's not an ad hoc kind of way that you can just go and find stuff in a blog post or maybe a document library on a regular website, on multiple websites. You have it in a structured way so that people can consume it in a way that is organized and makes sense to them. The value, and again, in a membership site, a lot of times as the membership site owner, the value is in you. You are the expert. You are the person that's providing the content. You are the one that people are relying on for their information that's valuable. So it's expert-led, and that value is you. With it comes some ego and perhaps some income, but more importantly, that's a responsibility now that you are the only one that is able to provide that value, or the majority of the value has to come from you, your experiences and ideas. So a lot of pressure on that. The other thing that happens here is, you've got tools and templates. Make sure we'll spell that correctly. And again, I just did that ad hoc with notes. But the tools and templates that you're using, again, these are ones that add value to it, but it's just content, again, that is organized and fits with the written, video, audio content that you've kind of put together. So we got purpose, values, and features. What's next? Here's the big picture that I want you to think about. The big challenge with anything in a membership site where it's content related is retention. If people consume the content and they've consumed it all, there's no reason for them to be a member and either pay for it or, more importantly, visit the site. So retention is a big issue, and you got to have some strategies in and around that. And the key differentiator for a membership site is it's the ongoing value comes from your consistent input to it. And again, that is a huge responsibility for people. So if you're thinking about, hey, I want to have a membership site, or I'm using the word membership site, just understand what it is and what it isn't, because an education business, in my opinion, is not a membership site. It's not enough, not even close to being enough. It maybe was in the past, but all of the technology that's available, the platforms that we actually use, like Fluent Community and BuddyBoss as hosted ones, and some of the other ones like School and Colab and Circle, these kind of sites provide a lot more than just membership or a gated spot. Here's the next one. Number 2 is a community. And this is the one that I hear, I use it by mistake or on purpose sometimes these days, but this whole issue here, and I'll make this a little bit bigger so that we can see it, is a community is the one that is kind of popular right now. Again, in community, I don't think it's enough for an education business. I'll go through the purpose, features, value creation where it is here, and you'll see that this sort of piece that's popular right now is a bit of a short-term fix, and more importantly, it's going to be very hard if it is your business of building a community. So what's the purpose of a community site? What's the big value here? Not value creation, but what's the big thing that you're going to be doing by creating a community/membership site? The thing that's important in a community is the member-to-member interaction. A membership site is all about the content. A community site is about the members. So you have to have the ability or the platform so that people can actually interact with each other. Not necessarily the instructor, but they're going to be interacting with each other, other members in that particular community. And the thing that is really important here for you as a community owner is you don't want to be the one that's super responsible for the content. You want people to become self-sufficient by networking with other people and other groups of people in your community that are interested in the same particular ideas, topics, and things that you're actually promising to go there. So it's about fostering connections amongst people and having people interact with each other as part of the community. The features you'll find on a community site when it fits into an education business and a membership site is over and above a membership site, it usually will add stuff like chat. When I'm talking about member-to-member communication, that's one of the things that happens is you know another member, you've interacted with another member, there's someone that you've connected with in that community, you have the ability to do a one-on-one conversation with them that's independent of all of the other members and all of the other parts of the site. You also have discussion groups, forums, or spaces where people can interact with everyone that's interested in a particular topic. And again, membership sites by themselves don't have these things. So these are additional features that we're adding on to a membership site. So discussions, again, are questions and answers, feedback and solutions on what's going on. But again, it's the other users that are doing, or the members are the ones that are actually creating the actual conversations that are going back and forth here. So those shared spaces and those abilities to discuss, question and answer, share and not share, those are the things that are real value in the community. And a community relies on profile. So a community site has to have a way to let people say, this is who I am, this is what I'm interested in, these are the links to my business, to my personal profile that they want to share, these are my social media links. You have to have a way that's got a great profile that people can hang their shingle out and say, hey, yeah, this is who I am, this is what I'm up to, these are the projects that I'm involved in. You know, whether or not they want to share that, you give them the option to, but the idea is that that member community part requires that chat, discussion, spaces, and a profile. Now, the real value creation of this, of course, is collective problem solving. In a membership site, you're the expert. A lot of times it's like, man, you got to do it. You have to know it. You have to answer everything. When you get into a community and there's enough members in that community, you have a situation where someone has an experience maybe that you don't have, and they can share it with other users. So you're not responsible for providing all the answers. The community is responsible or becomes responsible. Responsible is a bit wrong word. The community can provide its own particular answers to situations and problems that other members have, because there's other members that have maybe had a similar situation. So it brings a collective answer to traditional problems or problems that are all shared in a particular topic or category that you have in your community. Networking and sense of belonging are the big ones. I've seen many communities in the education space or ones that are standalone communities where you have that ability to do stuff off of the membership site outside of the community because you're networking with people, whether they be local in the same industry, complementary industries, where you can take stuff out of the community, and the value of the community is being able to foster those networking connections. Classic example of this is if you go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn for business to business, that is all about networking in that community. The business takes place off of the community, but the networking starts and the engagement starts in the actual community. And again, a sense of belonging. A lot of people have a favorite community that they feel comfortable in, that they get along with the other people, that they agree with other people, and that sense of belonging and consistency is very, very comforting to people who are beginning out. They're uneasy, they don't know what to do, what not to do. If they can have that sense of rapport and understanding that other people have been through the same thing that they have, again, there's huge value in that sense of belonging. And then finally, what's the big picture in all of this one? The big picture is engagement. If you're going to create a membership site, it's about retention. If you're going to create a community, which is a membership site plus this additional piece, you're going to have to worry about engagement. And that's actually getting people to share their story, to help other people, to network with other people. And that takes some work. It's not easy, but it takes you as the community owner to get other people engaged and going in your community business. So, in as much as it's an easy word that gets thrown around these days, there is a lot of work to do in both of these models. It's either creating a lot of content or fostering a lot of engagement. Both of those have to actually be done if you're using that as the business model. So what's the kind of third one here? And this is why I'm all about campuses for education businesses and building out training sites or learning campuses. Now, the business model about a campus is fundamentally different than a membership site and or a community, because what it does is it actually creates, and I'll open this one up here. This one, I'll open all these up actually, so we can take a look at them and make sure that they're available here, or at least get started. But a campus is all three of them combined. It's an education system. It's a business. And in the long term, you can have a membership site. I guarantee you're going to get burned out. If you have a community and you don't get it growing, it's not going to turn into anything that requires a business, and it's going to be really, really hard to monetize and treat it as a business. So you're going to have to go that next step further, which I'm calling a campus, and that is an all-in-one education system that is fundamentally different than just having that community and member area. And where does it come in? It comes in the ability to provide education for people and implementation of the education that people get. So it's a business model. It requires a whole bunch of pieces that are a membership site, plus a community, plus an interactive, responsible, authentic way of actually teaching people and getting them to implement what it is. So you're going to find that it's balanced as a learning environment. What I mean by that is you can have courses in a community, but if you don't have some kind of person that is helping people implement it and or live training that are unique to that particular situation that the student has, you're going to be missing out, because it's that teaching or that facility for teaching which makes a campus much more efficient. Think of it as a professor. If you go to a class, there's stuff that you study when you're not in class, but when you go to class, you ask questions from the professor. How does this apply to this? Professor asks questions to you to think about something. He might even give you homework to apply and come back and talk about it. So it's that whole learning environment that is in a campus that you won't find necessarily in a community or just a membership site. And the thing that I really like about it is it's that reversed or flipped classroom that you may hear, where you use the instructor first, supplemented by the content in the course, so that they work together. And there's real value in that if you're in an education business. If you don't want an education business, you don't have to worry about this. But a campus is about educating and business. So we had learning, community membership, and balanced information in a learning environment. This, if you think of a campus, I think it's not as niched as a membership site or a traditional online business, because you have to look at a topic, not a niche. And what are all the moving pieces around it? If I go to a school or a campus, I have different grades, for example. I have different faculties. And when it comes to business, it's not just one answer anymore. There's always a bunch of moving pieces, and focusing on one specific niche, I don't think is something that is in an education business. You have to look at all of these different pieces, the hub and spoke, the different faculties, and that's the real purpose of creating a campus, is being able to do that. So what's the differences in terms of the features that you'll find on a learning campus? And by the way, these are the things that we actually teach people how to create, implement, and build for their education business. And again, these key features are flexible, but these are the ones that normally get provided and I suggest be provided. You need to have a course delivery platform. You can have a really complex one, which is important if you're providing things like certification, yearly renewals, if you need detailed assignments and quizzes. That kind of thing is available in a course delivery platform within a campus. Or you need a simple way to deliver courses that are structured content that have responsibility to complete or not complete. You want to have the community spaces. Same thing that you have in a community site, you want to provide those, but they complement or work with the educational content. So you have a space that is tied to the education portion so that it is shared. That way you have education about one piece, you have a space for that one piece. If you have another different course or different topic category that you're working on in a community, you can have a separate space for that. It allows people to self-select. What's the area that I need to do? What is the part where I'm in? What is the 10 steps in the map that I'm doing? What do I need to do to move to the next step to have a transformation that's available? You're going to see live events in a campus. And as much as I have a community, when there's a one-to-one kind of, if you do a live stream in a community, it's to everyone. But if you're actually doing workshops or live teaching, these live events that are related to learning something in the education and the community that's being built, that's something you'll find on a campus. There's a blended learning and flipped classroom I talk about. Again, really, really important as a feature, and I think this is where the real sweet spot is moving forward in 2025, 2026, as all of these courses get landed on us that are text-only courses or AI created content courses that technically aren't courses. They're just regurgitated text that the person doesn't necessarily do. So having something that's just like a course, I don't think is enough. You've got to be into this blended learning and flipped classroom. Now I'm going to share a resource library here, and a resource library, because you're doing these kind of flipped learnings, blended learning, live events, having an actual library of different things, not just a download or a template, but having an organized library and knowledge base that gets created by the interactions within the community, within the membership site, and within the classes and learning. Those resources in that library, again, is something that adds real value. The other thing is networking, because in a campus, if you're on campus, you're going to meet people in different faculties, and you might end up doing something with them. It doesn't mean you have to stay in your lane or space. You have the opportunity to do stuff in different parts of the campus, different faculties, different areas. And if you network with someone and they're doing something, or you like what they're doing in the particular space, you can still do all of the chat stuff, do the discussion groups, but you can network with them as well. Did I spell? Let's see if I can. There we go. Let's spell comprehensive properly there. Networking, and here's the big. This one is in the value delivery. Probably. Sorry, I went on to the next one. It's comprehensive. It means it covers all sorts of pieces of education and building the transformation or providing the transformation. The thing that I really like about it is in a campus, you have done do-it-yourself, DIY value. So people want to go through it themselves and just ask some questions and get some feedback, they can. But you also have the ability to do done with you. And that comes into, am I going to do live learning, live workshops where an instructor or a professor or someone who has an area of expertise is going to teach a group of people at the same time how to go through and implement the ideas that may have been taught in a course. And that DIY option or done with you option make a campus unique. It's more than a community for sharing. It's more than a membership site that's a DIY kind of space. It's a spot where it's the done with you space that provides a lot of flexibility when it's needed. Not everyone needs it, and they don't have to be forced into it. They can raise their hand and say, yeah, absolutely, this is something I need to have help with. And here's the other one that I really like in terms of building out an education business, is this peer way to be responsible or actually be held accountable for the work that you said you're going to do, that the items that you've said you're going to create, to the tools and skills that you're going to learn. If you've got the ability to have accountability built into your campus, that's where you can show your work and have not only the instructor give feedback on it, but the other members and say, hey, that's really cool, or why didn't you do this way, or I see a problem here, or here's some other ways to do it that you might want to consider. Again, if you just have a community, you may not have that opportunity to tie it to the education and the ability to have some feedback on what's going on, not just from the instructor's feedback, from the other members of the community. And again, the other thing here with a value of a campus is that you have multiple learning paths. If I want to go and take all of the things that are about email marketing and that space, I can start with that. If I want to take a look in trainingsites.io, if I want to look just at how do I create a course, I can go and focus on that particular area and then go to the other pieces. So you can start where it's appropriate and pick out the pieces that you need as you need them. You don't have to go through in a particular order. It gives you the flexibility of doing the things that you need when you need to do it. The big picture, of course, with the value is that the campus provides all of the steps that you need. You can just take them or implement them as you need them, as long as you get all of the ones particular done. So that's where the real value is in that campus. And what's the big picture with the campus? Is it's super versatile and super flexible. Any of the people that I've seen with membership sites and or communities, once that piece without the education is either stale or needs to be updated, there's a bit of a problem trying to make sure that you bring everything along at the same spot. When you have a campus and these individual faculties, you can update and or change or address changes in your market or in your topic, and you have the ability to do that. It's much more flexible, and again, it's a business that lasts in the long term, not stuck on a particular piece of content that's in behind, so it gets too unruly. Content, connection, feedback, and implementation. A campus is about those things. So it's the best of both worlds added to an education portion with the ability to do courses and workshops and cohorts. Really cool value there. Multiple learning styles. Again, pretty straightforward. Scalable. Here's the one, if you want a business and you want it 2 years from now, 4 years now, 5 years from now, you have an education business if you look at and use a campus. If you just want to create a course, you don't need a campus. You can create a course and put it on Udemy, or a couple courses, you want to put it there if that's all that interests you. That's a different business model. If you want to have a place where you can start organizing a lot of courses and additional content and resources, maybe you want to say, here's the course, you got to pay for it. A membership site might be enough for you. If you want to be involved with the people that are taking the courses and help them along, you say, hey, maybe I want to have a community where I've got some courses and content and I've got some interaction with people, but I'm not necessarily involved in the community guiding people through their consumption of the content. So this campus is really the best of both worlds, and I think it's going to be the big play here over the next year or two. What happens if you don't pick one of these? You'll end up kind of gravitating to one anyway if you're doing anything online and you're teaching online. And that's kind of the big picture cool thing that's happening with this is you can create a business. You can have the lifestyle that you want. You can share the passion that you want. You can do the things that you do and teach people how to do it. That is cool stuff. And if you can earn money at it, that's even better. So, for me personally, I like doing these videos. I love sharing all the stuff that I've done over the last 25 years of digital marketing and online marketing. And I'm betting that there's something that you can do as well that will let you create your own campus, your own education business. And do these have to be monetized? No, not necessarily. If you do want to monetize them and find out what's involved, make sure to go into trainingsites.io. The link's there. Join up. I'd love to have a chat with you, find out what you're up to, and work with you to start, build, and grow your education business. This is James speaking. Like and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. I'll be here again tomorrow. And actually, tomorrow's Wednesday. What that means is we do a live open Q&A, 1 o'clock Eastern time here on YouTube. That's available to you to come on and just ask me questions if you're unsure of some of these things or just want to find out more about trainingsites.io. So take care, expect the best. We'll be back tomorrow.